I know.
We're good to go, man. Got them today. Hello, folks.
I'm getting better.
We're
Scars.
we're talking small talk here. Yes.
I already said hi, but he didn't have the camera rolling, so hi.
Yeah.
Damn cameraman.
We said hi once. Troy tricked us.
Hello,
We were
everyone.
on the air.
Hope everyone's having a good day. Greetings from Capel Canine in Burleson, Texas.
Yes.
Yeah.
We didn't do last week's show because we had camera trouble. Now we got the camera trouble fixed. We're gonna try and get it started up again, but we're not gonna do last week's show. We're gonna do something that I
This
think
week.
needs to be addressed.
Okay.
That is how the difference between a personal protection dog and what I call a security dog, and how to find or what it entails to become a security dog versus a personal protection dog. And we'll also clear up some of this terminology like level 1, level 2, level 3 that we're doing. Everybody's doing on their protection training. So you want to take off? You want me to?
Go ahead. So level 1, level 2, level 3. Price 1, price 2, price 3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How'd you guess?
You know, I know. I thought it was more serious than that.
Yeah.
That is serious.
Yeah, it is serious. And and okay, so let's get terminology out of the way first. Level 1, people that call me all the time asking me, how much to train a level 2 dog? What do you mean? In the dog world in the United States of America, there is no certifying body. There's no standards, no written standards. Every place, every club or group can write their own standards. Every person who's a trainer can write his own standards, and therefore they can use their own terminology. We got a wayward Western Shepherd walking around in here. Hello, Miss Traveler. This is our 10-month-old Traveler girl. Getting ready to go to Mississippi June 8th for the big trial Daryl Thornton's putting on, by the way. If y'all are interested in competing, getting your dog certified, give me a call. But back to it. So everyone who's a trainer has his own idea of how he wants to market his dogs. And level 1, level 2, level 3, those are marketed. It's like basic training and advanced training. We taught your dog to heel on leash. Now you're going to bring him back for off-leash training. Well, heel means heel if the dog's learned what heel means. So if he learned it, why is heel different? Why do you have to retrain it if you take a leash off? I've never understood that. It's the same word. It means the same thing. The only difference is you got a connection or you don't. So that's how words are used, and most words and terms are used like Scott said. 1, 2, 3 makes $1, $2, $3, right? So your levels, if you're looking to get a protection dog or a security dog and you ask the person the level, go to his webpage and read what he's written down as to what those levels entail and what it means, what he's going to train them to do. And don't ask another person that you shop with if he can train the same level 2 or level 3. Everybody makes up their own words in this wonderful industry we're in, So it's like all the drives that exist. There's 3 drives scientifically used in dog training amongst dog trainers. But if you go to someone else, they're going to have fight drive, which you won't find that in any psychology book.
4-wheel drive.
4-wheel drive. You won't find that in no psychology book. You'll have to go down to the Jeep dealer for that.
Disc drive.
Which one?
Disc drive.
Disc drive. Oh, I hadn't heard disc drive.
That's a new drive that just came out.
That's a new one. That's a new one. Yeah. That's when you want your dog to go round and round.
But I've read a lot that they break down. It's actually prey drive, and they break prey drive down into. It's like a root prey drive, and you got a roots of a tree, and all of a sudden you got 70 different drives, but it's actually all prey drive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Categorization.
Yeah. Food drive, hunt drive.
I understand different, like you're saying, different trainers have different way of addressing things.
Mm-hmm.
But when we're looking at people writing and blogs and whatnot, and I guess they're trying to get too scientific with it.
They're trying to sound scientific.
Yeah, they're just trying to branch off in something, but when you come back and you go to Pavlov and everything else, it all comes back to one simple thing.
Yeah, Like a ball.
It may sound simple, but it's not simple, but it is simple.
It is, yeah. And back to my favorite thing, when you don't know what you got, just talk a lot. If you flap your lips enough, they'll get tired of listening and they'll just say, yeah, and they'll go on.
Yeah.
So, but let's go to the protection dog, personal protection versus a security dog. First off, if you personal protection dogs, 90% of them in this country are coming out of from sport dog trainers. Period. I don't know anyone who can argue that with me. If you'd like to try, I'll be glad to do that in a televised debate there. We can get on there with them politicians, you know. But it's very difficult in this country, except if you're going police or military, to get actual street experience. So when they've done enough stuff in the sport world that they now have some form of verifiable credentials, they take what they learn in their sport and apply it to the street. They don't take what they've learned on the street because they haven't been on the street. They still produce really good dogs who will 9 times out of 10 be able to perform any security or any home invasion burglary situation you're going to run across. Because 9 out of 10 people, once a dog lays a lip lock on them, they're going to get compliant. Period. So a sport dog trainer can train a dog that'll work very well if someone assaults you on the street and you can send the dog after him. Someone snatches your wife's purse, you can send the dog after him. The security dog, that's what we call our guard dogs that work with humans, okay? So you have the guard dogs working alone, and you have the security dogs that work in teams for labor strikes, undercover burglary stuff, things of that nature. A security dog has to do everything literally a police dog does, as well as everything a guard dog does. That means working by themselves to protect an area or a home or a vehicle. And the way we train our security dogs is real simple. And I think I've told this story once before. Osa, my pride and joy partner, German Shepherd, we had a bookkeeper that forgot her paperwork one day, and she just called me and said, "Butch, I'm going back to the office." The office was in my house. And I'm going to go in there and get these things, files I forgot. And I said, "Well, you can't, Dawn, because Osa's in there." Well, Osa sits on my feet at my desk every morning. She's not going to bother me. I said, "No, she's on duty. She's going to bother you." And she said, "Oh," I said, "Trust me, Dawn, she'll bother you." And so I said, I will just, don't do that. Don't worry about it. We'll get it tomorrow. Okay? So we're driving down the road, and Denise and I don't know where we were going, but we were going somewhere. And phone rings again. It's Dawn. She goes, Butch,
Uh-oh.
you got some crazy dog in your house. Where's Osa? And I went, "What?" And she said, the way it was, I had my front door had, you know, how they'll have these little 6-inch glass panes on either side. I had those. Dawn had gone up there, and she had a key. She's going to unlock the door and go in, and something hit the door. And I had a big old bay window out front, and this is right at dusk. So she jumps back with whatever it is, and she goes around, she looks in that bay window, and this dog, she said, just slobber and spit all over the glass, and she's going, "Oh my God, something's in there that's going to kill Osa." And she explained to me what happened. I said, "No, Dawn, that was Osa." "Oh, that wasn't Osa. Osa loves me."
Yeah.
Not when she's on duty. Not when she's on duty. She said, "Well, how do you do that?" And I said, "Get in the apprentice program, pay me a little bit of money, I'll show you how." Right now you're the bookkeeper, I'll get your books for you in the morning, you know. So that's one of the things we do with a security dog. It has to be able to perform like a guard dog, but it also has to be as social as a personal protection dog. So you have to be able to take it to Sunday go to meeting or pool hall or wherever you want to go with a safe dog. You can train the dog, and we'll show you one here in a minute. Let's go back to credentials. So how do you, if you're coming out of the sport dog world, how do you get into some sort of certification, verification that you really know what you want? Well, if you're lucky and you're in the right state, you can do like I did. Where's that first one, Scott? The state of Texas required anyone in the security business to be licensed, and that included guard dogs.
Turn that. You want to turn it that way?
Did that?
Well, it's kind of,
You mean flip it?
yeah, you got to flip it to the right, turn to the right 90 degrees.
Yeah. Like that?
Still
But
doing
it's still upturning.
Was it upside down or what
No,
is
it's
it?
just, everybody have to tilt their head to the left to look at it.
it? Did you fix it?
Yeah, try to fix it for us.
Yeah, we'll try and fix this for you so you
Yeah.
can.
Here, let me fix it. Okay, here, what?
Oh. Right there?
Right there.
Got it. I should have.
All right.
Want to kind of zoom into it a little bit.
Turn it sideways.
Okay, let's try to get that down. Here we go. Oh, looks good right there.
Yeah, so you can see I'm licensed by the state of Texas, was for several decades, in fact. 2017 was the last year that I renewed the license. So how do you get this license? Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to have 2 years of verifiable experience. And I had sold police dogs to several departments for several years prior to this. And I just got, letters from the police departments. You send them to the state. The state sets up time for you to take a test, and you pass that test. And then, when you have that little bit of information, or that little piece of paper, other things that might be closed to you are opened up, like police dog associations. That's the North American Police. That's one of the first police associations I ever worked for or trained with and was a member of. So if you can, and you can find, if your state has licenses, that can open the door to do a lot of things. Every state will have their own requirements. So that's one way to do it. And while we were doing all that, I was also doing show ring stuff, both confirmation and obedience titles. So I've sort of run the gamut of the dog world.
Mm-hmm.
The guard dog company gave me a chance to put, because I'd already been deep involved in Schutzen and marginally involved with a little bit of French ring. I was at the first French ring trial that was held in this country, or the dog I trained was, with Stuart Hilliard up in Colorado, the Rattlesnake Ring Club. So I dabbled in a little bit of all of it. I brought all that to that guard dog company. So this is where we start getting to understand the difference between a pure personal protection dog and a security dog. Again, to my way of thinking, we got slightly different jobs for that security dog. You also have a greater responsibility with a security dog, because on a canine team, Scott,
Mm-hmm.
what's more important, the handler or the dog?
What's more important?
Yeah, in the team work. 50-50.
50-50.
Because the handler's got to do the thinking, right?
That's it. That's what I was gonna iterate on. Personal protection dogs, and you can get these dogs. All I'm hearing here is all these dogs can do this. Get your dog to do that. Your dog can bite. Your dog can let go. I don't hear anything about handler training or handler. The involvement of handlers. Everybody's gets all glass-eyed and oohed about the dogs, but actually the handler is just as important as the dog. I've been saying it forever. I mean, you need to train the handlers also.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
how to hold a dog, what to realize, and then the dog, they build a bond. They build
Exactly.
a bond together. But I find that handler training is just as important as a dog training the dog.
Right. And there's a responsibility that goes with that, because you're telling a person that this dog is going to be able to protect them if they get in a bad, shaky situation.
Where?
And maybe in their own home.
That's different.
Maybe out on the street.
That's even different too.
Where?
Exactly.
Could be anywhere.
What?
Everyone is different.
No, but you get to have the leash training and handle training, because at home, you need handle training at home? I don't think so. In the house? No.
No.
But, you know, you hear him saying
No,
that.
no, you don't. You're right. Exactly.
You
exactly.
really don't. Inside your own domicile or on your property, outside, you know, depending on where you live, yes.
Right.
But for the most part, no. But when you're in the street, walking down the street, or you're going somewhere, you gotta have your dog on a leash.
Yeah.
You get the best dog ever. They'll stand by your side without a leash. You still gotta have them on.
You gotta have him on a leash. So you gotta work him. Now, here's another. We're gonna show you some video here in a minute, but one of the most important factors on a security dog, we all know the dog's got to bite the guy, and if you've got a personal protection dogs, usually that's where it ends. He bites the guy and hopefully inflicts enough ouch that this person doesn't want to argue with you anymore. But what do? This is what some of the sport dog trainers haven't experienced. Everything, when I talk about something, when we do scenario training, which is the big major difference between a security dog and a personal protection dog, is scenario training is a must. You've got to do it, or you don't have a security dog. So everything that we do in the way of scenarios,
What did you say?
everything we do in the way of scenarios is
Wait.
Everything.
No. Scenarios.
Scenario.
Not one scenario.
Oh yes, scenarios.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I was getting.
Plural. Sorry. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because there are many different situations, and you need to train these situations, because guess what? You, the handler, your responsibility in the team is, after the dog has subdued the individual, you got to get him out of there safely. You got to get the cops to him safely, whatever. And you're the only one who can do that. So one of the most important things for a security dog is a good solid guard. And I'm not talking about a barking hole like you see in a competition sport field where the dog jumps up and goes woof, and jumps up and goes woof, and jumps up and goes
I got a
woof.
video of that.
And yeah, we got a video of that. Scott's been there, you know.
That's fun. I love that.
You know,
More like of a downstay and don't let him move type guard.
exactly, Troy. You want this dog to. I like to have my dogs down and watch, because they can come out of a down faster. If you're coming out of a down, you're straight up and you got to lunge.
Yeah.
If you're coming out of a sit, you got to pick your butt up and then lunge.
Yeah.
So you gain a fraction of a second in your attack.
And so, with that being said, dog will bite anywhere, anytime.
Yes.
In a car, in an alley, and you got your back against the wall and there's 3 feet in front of you. But my question is, how do you handle that dog in that situation? Handle the dog, right?
Right.
So in a car, or in an alley, or if you got backed up, you got 2 guys coming at you, how do you take care of that? The handler has to know.
Right.
The dog is very important, don't get me wrong. I'm just,
Sure.
I got a kick off. I got a special place for that, because I've been bit enough and with unexperienced handlers, and it's not fun.
Right.
You know, and there's ways to counteract it. You know, you can, you know, like we talked about earlier. You know, there's certain things that people are doing, and you correct it and you stop when you're training. But in real life, there's no chance.
That's right.
And if you don't have your dog, you can lose your dog or you can get hurt.
And to that end, anyone who sells you a protection dog, there should be handler training about how to handle situations. We're going to show you a video here. Like I said, any of the situations, the scenarios that we put up, that we train these things for our security dogs, or for a customer security dog. We train these scenarios, to make sure the dog is working responsibly. He knows how to fight and keep himself from getting hurt. He can control the man's movement. And B, we teach the handler certain things that they can do to minimize the risk of them getting hurt when they go to subdue this potential attacker. How to keep the guy wrapped up, so to speak, until PD gets there. It wasn't long ago I told a story about a lady out in California with a little pit named Bomber, Patricia, and her husband had a broke leg. They heard a noise in their garage at night, and Bomber was a post-sports champion and one of the best. They hear this noise coming from their outside garage. The husband with the broke leg hollers at Patricia, said, "What's going on out there?" And she said, "Oh, they have a teenage son." She said, "I bet he's out there fooling with something. Go tell him to get in, come do his studies or whatever." He gets his crutches and he goes out there. And many minutes pass by and Patricia gets to realizing, where'd my husband go? How come he ain't come in with a kid, right? And she goes outside, looks in the garage, and there she sees her husband with his crutches and his cell phone in his hand, and some guy in the corner of their garage with Bomber sitting right here, right square in front of him. And it was just perfect symmetry because Bomber's head and teeth were just crotch level to this guy who had been in their garage with no invitation. So, and Bomber held him there. He had called the police department. Bomber held the man right there in that position until the police got there, and they were very impressed. They also didn't go in until she called Bomber back off the guy. So here's a little video clip, one of our scenario trainings that we did, and I want you to, I'm gonna narrate this as we go. Pay special attention to what happens after the man is stopped with the bike.
He comes in.
Comes
You
in,
your keys to your car.
asking for the keys. She throws them.
And when he's down, she sends a dog. Slightly distracted. Kicks the gun away.
Freeze it.
Oh,
Okay, go up or back either way, just a little bit more. I just go ahead and roll it all, and I'll go back and narrate. Whoops. Okay, so here she comes. You got it set for freezing. When he hollers at her, he comes up, and you notice first thing you notice her walking back.
she's backing up.
One of the first things you do, that we teach you, is you always keep a space, what I call your safety security zone, between you and your potential assailant. You got a 6-foot leash and a dog's head in front of the leash. That is your security zone. That's the distance you must maintain at all times, out of their reach and just far enough away where if they did have a gun, they might not get off a good shot, and you've got time to move and dodge, and you can move and dodge a whole lot quicker than they can sight a pistol. So as she's backing up like she should do, he asks for the keys and she doesn't give them to him. She throws them, puts him out of position, and the dog immediately comes in. Now stop it right here. You see she's going for her leash. This is what we're teaching people. There's a lot of things you can do with a leash. A lot of things. It is your second weapon. And watch what she does here. Over his throat, the dog's keeping the man. See how the dog keeps the guy stretched back, controlling his movement? She grabs the other arm. Stop it. And what she's going to do here, she's got the leash around his throat. The clasp, the snap in is through the handhold, so it's a slip around his neck. It's a noose. She pulls it tight. She pulls that one free arm back, wraps it. He's cuffed and he's choked. And then Lane added this on her own. She goes, pop. You can't see it, but you know how you can hit somebody behind the knee just right?
She knocks him down that way.
Uh-huh.
Takes his weight off.
So his knees just went. Can you watch it right, or we got to do some changing?
Yeah, we're good.
And do it again, yes.
Somebody help me. What do we got to do?
No.
We're good.
Oh, we're good. Okay. So we'll just roll the whole thing without me yakking. Maintain your distance always. Try and get the guy out of position. Send your dog when he least expects it. Make sure your dog is keeping him off balance by keeping him pulled away and out, stretched out. throw your leash around his throat. This is just one technique. Here's a dozen. Now you hammer lock him with the other hand. You pull
You
up
need
on
to-
the end of your leash and pop him behind the knees. He goes to his knees. You have now a man, even if you are in her case, Lane was about a 105-pound woman. And her assailant was about a 180-pound guy, but she was in complete control.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone tells you, and if someone's telling you they're selling you an executive protection dog or personal protection dog, they are. There's no doubt they are. You're going to see a good bite. The dog needs to be able to do a send. Just because you never know on the street if you might end up with a purse snatcher. But that's not your main defense. Your main defense is intimidating the person to thwart a bite in the first, a theft in the first place. But what do you do in a home invasion situation? Your dog's loose, somewhere upstairs maybe. Someone kicks in your front door. What happens? Personal protection dog may or may not know how to react. May have no idea. We do home invasions with our security dogs. So,
And even when they start, 85% of dogs don't know what to do.
right,
It's because they're home, right?
Right.
And they're always told, someone comes over, no, it's good, no, it's okay. They've never,
Good
most of
point.
these dogs have never been actually alerted in their own homes. So the first time around, the dog usually will stop and turn around and look at the owner and goes, can I go do that? And you go, what are you looking at me for? Go get him. And he goes, boom. Then if we do a recall later, a month, 2 months down the road, and come back and try it again, that dog don't forget. You're coming in, he get you.
Mm-hmm.
He gonna get you.
Yep,
But you got tests like that. But
right. And Scott knows because that's what he does for me here. He goes to people's homes after we train their dog, knocks on their door, kicks it in, whatever. He's seen how these dogs act.
Mhm.
But you don't have a security dog until you put your dog through that, until you put him through a carjacking, like you just saw. Someone approaches you on the street. That's another one we do. We just walk our dogs down a street back, little back street back here, place the dogs have never been, going for a walk with the owner. We'll have somebody step out.
jump out.
Yep,
Yep.
no suit, no sleeves. Say, hey, give me your money. So, I guess the main difference between a security dog and a personal protection dog is just security dogs are trained more like police and military dogs. There's a lot of scenario training. And again, these boys selling you these personal protection dogs, they can do the job. They absolutely can. They can stop the people. But what do you do after you stop them? Where do you go? Because believe me, having seen this more than a few times, after your dog has took a big old chunk out of somebody's butt, they're not real happy with you. You are not their favorite person. They ain't inviting you to supper with Aunt Lily. So if that dog does anything wrong and they can pick up a rock and hit you in the head with it, they're probably going to. So this is your main difference. This is your main difference. Scenario training is an absolute necessity.
You're actually proofing the dog.
Yeah, good way to put it.
Yeah.
Good way to put it.
And you're proofing yourself because you put yourself in those situations and you know how to react. So,
Right. And remember, someone's selling you what they claim is a security dog, or even if it's a personal protection dog and you want to go that extra length, they should be able to teach you the techniques because you're going to need to work with your dog. Like Scott said, it's 50-50. You're a team. You've got to know your part because once that dog has the man under control, you've got to get him under apprehension. Simple as that.
you know how we say muscle memory with the dogs?
Mm-hmm.
You need muscle memory as a handler.
Same thing.
Because in those situations, you don't have time to think. You have to react and act, So,
And if you take nothing else away from this, and you ever get in that situation with your dog, whether he's self-trained, pro-trained, whatever, just remember the most important thing you can do in any attack situation or assault situation is that security zone. You want to keep 6 feet between you and that person, and you always move in straight lines. You never let anybody circle around behind you. I see all this in a lot of the clubs that make up their little certification, whatever, competitions. And you'll have people walking around in a circle. You don't do that. You never let anyone walk behind you. You want always to maintain that 6 foot security zone, and if they start walking this way, you're going to walk backwards. If you're going straight back, your dog is always, it's just like this. If someone was walking around behind you and you moved your pistol this way, if you might miss, but if you keep it right like this and you're just stepping back and keeping it trained right on high center mass, you don't have to worry. Everything you do with a weapon, you will do similarly or exactly the same with a dog. It's just getting someone to show you how to do it if you've never handled a gun before. And if you've handled a gun, teaching you how to use, instead of pulling a trigger, how to hold a leash.
Right.
Well, that
Absolutely.
That dog's kind of going to be alert to somebody moving anyway, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, he's not stupid.
He's watching.
Senses are up as he's watching. He's going to know what that person's doing anyway. So
Right.
if you're alert, he's alert. You know.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
And that has to do with how you hold your leash.
Exactly. Like Scott said, it's umbilical cord.
Mhm.
He's gonna feel that tension, or he's gonna feel the nervousness, or whatever. So
And there's a way to guide your dog
yeah.
and still have an anchor. All these are the little things that that we try to do every day. That I don't see anyone talking about. So I'm just going to tonight's show on the assumption that this sort of information is the only thing that's not available out there on the big wide web.
Right. True.
Is it?
Yeah.
Scott looks at it a whole lot more than I do, and he can't find it.
That's it. I can't. No.
So,
No. But that being said, June 8th, Watchdog Canine out of Morton,
Mississippi.
Mississippi is sponsoring a pro sports event.
Mm-hmm.
So just Daryl's putting on a show out there, and I plan on attending. So we all do. So if you all want some information on that competition, visit our website or visit the Facebook channel, and it's on there. So
Well, and it's a pro sports, so it's a certification trial. And remember, all of our exercises are scenario based.
what we talked about tonight will be on display at this competition.
Right, you'll be able to see how scenarios work.
Yep, because the scenarios we had here are going to be the same scenarios that are going to happen over there,
Right.
The dogs work the same. It's the same stuff we teach and we believe in, but, it's not always the same on the street, so it's not going to be the same. But anyway, Watchdog Canine, Morton, Mississippi, June 8th.
June 8th.
Hope to see you there.
Call me or Daryl Thornton.
Yep,
In the meantime, what's it all about, Scott?
it's all about the dogs
Every time.
every time. Good night, everyone. We'll see y'all next time. June 8th.